Right, we're back in the Brits EV camper again. We're here now with Paul Corbett from AECS. So AECS is a supplier of workshop training and equipment, and they've obviously had a fairly big change in business over the last few years with the arrival of electric vehicles. So tell me what is required for a workshop that wants to start looking at EVs, and what kind of things are you guys having to do to get these people up to speed and operating safely with these vehicles?
Okay, well, as you said, AECS does provide a range of training courses, and we have written a range of courses specifically for EV. Now that always starts with safety. You know, we're in a very health and safety conscious environment, and it does kind of start with a high voltage safety course, but then it develops on through diagnostics of the EV itself and the battery technology, the chemistry involved, and of course ongoing service and support for the vehicles, which is something that will have to be done. It's not, you don't buy it and then that's the end of it. Ongoing servicing is very much part of owning an EV, and the workshops need to know about what they need to be servicing, what they're looking for, because while they may look the same as a conventional ICE vehicle, then obviously the components and the drive mechanism is very different. So we sort of getting people to understand where the main differences are, where the similarities are, obviously with brakes and tyres of course, but there is a whole drivetrain that needs to be explained and understood, and where does the energy come from for that drivetrain? Well, of course a battery, and the technology that is inside of that battery needs to be understood before a diagnostician can safely and competently get in there and start working on these things.
And this kind of knowledge now is needing to be held at not just from large franchise dealers selling new cars, but right through to kind of the corner garage mechanic kind of workshop level, isn't it? I mean, these cars are going to be everywhere in the future.
Yes, they already are. We do train already and deal with a lot of large corporates. I won't mention names of course, but we do already deal with the corporates, and yes, we deal with the one-man bands and everybody in between, because they all will see them, they are already seeing them, and some are already quite comfortable with it. We've already got a network of over 50 workshops that are we would consider fully skilled up. They've been through our complete EV training program, and are now perfectly positioned to start harvesting, if I can use that word, the work that is out there waiting to be picked. People with EVs are they love the vehicle, they're highly passionate about it. That's one thing that I've noticed in particular is it's like talking to somebody with a classic car. That is the be all and end all, and when they go to a workshop they expect the workshop to treat that vehicle in the same manner, which is different to your average Toyota Corolla and so forth. So yeah, the way the customer needs to be dealt with and what needs to be discussed with the customer is different. That's part of the training, but yes, everybody from the guy on the corner, as you say, right through to the big corporates need to A, be safe, B, need to know how to diagnose these things correctly, because they need to provide a service ongoing for many years. And while we are really still in the infancy of that industry, it's growing at an extremely rapid rate. It's way beyond running pace.
How far are we from seeing technicians that just focus on electric vehicles who may not necessarily have any knowledge at all of internal combustion engine vehicles?
I would not be surprised if there are EV specialists, as in that is their sole focus, maybe even within 5 years, possibly even sooner. The speed at which EVs have appeared, and they're here to stay clearly, and technologies are going in all other directions now as well with hydrogen and so forth. The combustion engine isn't going to disappear tomorrow, and you know, they will still need wheels and they will still need brakes and bearings and grease and everything else. But because the EV part, you know, we've taken the combustion engine out now and we've now put in an electric drivetrain, it is such a big thing now that it would not surprise me if, you know, within that sort of time we start to see guys that are, you know, solely focused on it. You know, the peripherals, the wheels and tyres and so forth, nearly anybody can do. But there is, you know, we already have many workshops out there with specifically designed diagnostic bays. How long? I don't think not very long at all before we have a bay right next door that is the EV, you know, the new technologies bay, because it immediately links straight in with the diagnostic things that have been going on for the last 20 years. We've now stepped it up again. You know, we're now not just, you know, multiple modules with inter-module communication. We've now got a full drivetrain which is electric, and that will almost certainly require dedicated technicians, you know, trained and safe and working in a safe environment. You know, I hope we'll never see a situation where it needs barriering off from the rest of the workshop, because that's not practical. But with the correct training and guidance, they can be perfectly safe, and everybody else around them can remain safe as well, which is important.
Should the things like Polytechs and so forth that are doing automotive training courses be taking on board this kind of learning and this kind of technology as part of their curriculums, or do you think for a while this is still going to be something that private sector organisations like yourself are primarily responsible for?
If you'd have asked me that a couple of years ago, I would have said maybe the private sector can deal with it, but I can categorically say now that it needs to begin even before polytechnic level. The, you know, a mid to late years student at school, when they're thinking about careers, need to look at the industry with different eyes. It's not all oil and tyres, and it hasn't been for many years. And there has been a very big need for diagnosticians and people interested in computers and cars, because there is a very real career to be made out of that alone. Now we need to appeal to a younger student that, you know, is going to grow up with this. It's their generation. You know, like I have daughters of a generation where electric vehicles are already in their life. It's not new to them. It's not unusual. I've taken our EV home from work and there was no odd questions, it was just another car. And if we get into the students early enough that there is now a career in the motor industry that involves a lot of computer work and a lot of technical know-how, and it isn't all oily and dirty, I think we'll appeal to a lot more of those students that, as I said, if you like cars and you like computers, there's a career in that. And here we are now with an EV that's just shouting for people. So yes, to go back to your original question, Polytechs definitely should be on board. You know, they themselves will want to upskill, and because the speed at which this is happening for everybody now, it's almost like everybody's trying to swim to stay afloat, to stay, you know, anywhere near the front of the speed of technology changing. And we barely get one technology comfortable in our minds that electric vehicles are here, and now we're going to throw hydrogen into the mix as well, and that brings another dynamic which nobody's even considered that side of things yet, although the technology's on the road already. So yes, they will need to be on board. Yes, there will need to be some, you know, focused training on that. The private sector, like AECS, will always take it to a whole nother level.
Of course.
You know, you can only take it so far at Polytech level. Manufacturers can take it so far, and we will push the boundary even further. That's what we've been doing for many years, to try and, you know, the real world situations will feed back in what we're seeing coming through all our customers, and then we can focus our training and make our training appropriate for the real world situation, not just the polished classroom ideal scenario.
Exactly.
At the show, we've launched our EV test website, which will enable owners and prospective customers of EVs to be able to go to one of over 50 workshops across the country and have their battery checked, the state of health of that battery checked properly by a trained professional with proper equipment, so that they can get a proper overview and a proper report on that particular battery, whether it's one they own or considering owning. And we've launched that here at the show. So it's quite simply evtest.co.nz. Yes, we can. All the information's on there, and if anyone needs to know any more about it, then they can contact us at AECS.
Brilliant. Those details are at the bottom of the screen now. So go check those out and get that battery checked. For more from us, visit evtalk.co.nz. Keep following this Facebook page or go to the YouTube channel for Auto Media Group. Thanks very much.